Well, I say it's sort of like a court. How do I describe it? I basically just say that if you do something wrong, you get written up, and that gets taken to JC, which is a panel made up of people who are students and staff, Fairhaven School meeting members.
The school would not work without JC. It would definitely we wouldn't be able to, the school would just be in so much trouble because...
Then decide your fate by democratic action.
Oh, JC's called judicial committee.
Sometimes it can be funny, sometimes it can be really intense, sometimes it's just a quick case.
A few people have asked me if it just descends into chaos, which, it doesn't. I mean, it's still pretty well ordered. Yeah. I mean, it's a little more amorphous than your average school, but I like that. Things don't really get that cold and calculating here at Fairhaven. Your friends, or at least acquaintances that you're trying, but you obviously don't let that get in the way of your decisions. But it still keeps you from just turning it into some kind of bureaucratic machine.
Grant?
Okay. Threatening, if he wrote it up, was I did not even threaten him. I didn't say anything about beating him up.
Yes, you did!
Order, please.
I did not choke him. He fell on the ground. He was crying and was so angry that might be he thought his eyeballs were going to pop out of his head. And I did not throw him on the ground. I did not punch him. He tripped over a stick while he was running. And when he was on the ground, I asked him if why he was trying to pay Martin to beat me up. And he wouldn't tell me. And then he smashed my hand with a stick. The stick he is twisting the one around on.
Why was he running from you?
Why was he running from me? I don't know.
Yeah, because you were chasing me.
I was trying to ask him why he was paying Martin to beat me up, and he was running from me, so I went to find out. And he tripped over a stick on the way and fell on his face.
Matthew, it seems to me that it's appropriate to ask for your testimony now. Did he choke you?
Well, he pulled my shirt up like this.
So he tugged on your shirt.
When I tried to help him up, I didn't know I was grabbing his shirt. I was trying to grab his shoulder, and it must have been choking him when I was trying to help him up.
Next.
Was anyone else around you guys when this was happening?
Go ahead.
I don't think he saw any because he was on the ground crying.
Matt, is that what happened when he came up to you?
Without the bashing his leg.
So when he ran off, you followed him, right?
Oh no, I didn't want to get hit again. I just walked up and I sat down on the seesaw with Martin.
Martin?
How did...
When I was down on the ground, he picked me up by the collar, he let go. My head fell on the ground, but I didn't know that he was going to let go. That's why my head fell on the ground.
Okay.
What has not been answered is Max's question, and that is, what has gotten Matthew so upset to want to beat Grant up in the first place? And I think we just need to get to the bottom of it, maybe, because maybe something else happened prior to him wanting to beat him up.
Grant?
I walked up to Duncan, and I was talking to random, and then I talked to Duncan, and I was like, hey, Duncan, want to go down to the computer room? And Matthew, I think, got all mad because, I was going to go play with Duncan, and Duncan was playing with me.
But when I snatched the stick, didn't the stick hit your hand?
Matthew.
You have to wait until we call on you.
until we call on you, okay? It's just how JC works.
Would you like to hear the report so far?
Please.
All right. Matt offered Martin $20 to beat up Grant. Martin told Grant what Matt did. Grant confronted Matt. Matt hit Grant with a stick and ran off. Grant chased him. Matt tripped over a branch and fell on his knees. Grant pulled him up by the collar. He dropped him and Matt hit his head on the ground. Matt got up and was angry. He swung a stick and hit Grant in the hand. Then Matt stole Grant's stick. Grant walked back to Martin afterwards.
Is there any further discussion on that being charged with harassment? Seeing none, all in favor? That one was unanimous, so I feel no need to,
On to Grant.
So, on to Grant. Is there any further discussion on charging Grant with dangerous activity? All in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? That does not pass. Matt, you are charged with dangerous activity and harassment. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And how do you plead to harassment?
Guilty.
Okay.
Guilty.
Thank you, Grant. Any sentence ideas from either? Matt, I recall you had one.
Let's see here. Once I had this sentence where when I was in a room, Carson couldn't come into the room. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. I was wondering if maybe Grant, every time Grant's in a room, I can't walk in.
I don't feel that a restraining order thing is practical here. I think that this shows that they really need to learn to get along, and avoiding each other won't help with that.
I was thinking maybe if you would agree to mediation.
I was actually considering Matt, how do you feel about mediation?
What the heck is that?
Mediation is where you sit down in a room with the person you've been having trouble with and like another person or two that are trained as mediators. You sit down and talk and try to come to a decision that will be best for everyone and leave you guys getting along.
Any more discussion on both of them being referred to school meeting and suggested mediation by that school meeting?
Seeing none. All in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? You guys are referred to school meeting, and it's recommended that you get mediation before that. So you guys can come sign, and Grant, you can't go yet.
Can I get like a sub or something?
Think about doing.
Did you guys ask these two about that videotaping? If that's okay?
No, we did not.
Are you guys fine with this being on film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My first visiting week. No, it was the first week I was enrolled that I got written up. It was like the first day. It was like a Monday, and I was like, "What the?" I thought only like super bad kids got written up, and I was like I came into JC and I was like, "Geez, God, I can't believe I'm here." I'm like, "This is like the worst thing that's ever happened to me." And like I go in and like I didn't wash my bowl out or something, and my friend Jared was there, and he was like, I gave my defense. I was like, well, I'm really new here, and I didn't really know you had to wash the dishes, and the staff member Robert was like, well, what do you think that the dish fairy was gonna come and clean it up?
I left my lunchbox out when I was 5, 6. I leave my lunchbox out, and it was always kind of hard for me to remember to put away my lunchbox. You get to explain your way, and if they believe you, which it probably do if it sounds like it makes sense. Because some people will come here saying, I didn't spill the popcorn on the floor, my Lego woman did. And then they go and get their Lego woman, and then the person who does the JC will say, Lego woman, will you want to explain this? And then the person who had the Lego woman said, no, she doesn't feel like talking right now.
I was not on JC, simply sitting and observing. And I saw that he was getting upset, and I was sort of torn. Half of me was saying, oh, I wish he wouldn't be upset. The other half of me was saying, well, he did deserve it. He did nasty things, and now he's getting in trouble. And then he started crying, and although I still felt that he was probably deserving the punishment he got, I had a huge amount of sympathy for him. You see, people think of it as a place to deal out punishments, and in a way I confess lording over people's lives a little bit is sort of fun. But I try to be really fair about it, and I sit in on JC. I sub whenever I possibly can. And if I can't, I just sit in and watch. So I definitely feel a lot of compassion for both sides, really. You know, one of them, I'm sorry this thing happened to you, which the other person was at fault for. And then again for the defendant, where even though you did something that wasn't good and was against the rules, I'm still sorry that you're going to get in trouble for it. That doesn't outweigh the fact that you are going to get in trouble for it, and I think you probably deserved it. But you can still feel compassion without necessarily feeling the urge to immediately act upon it.
Not all the world is fair, but this place is as fair as it's probably going to get here in a school.